Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Chris Huckes, and this is your Best Life Defined. How you doing today? I am doing amazing. Things are rolling pretty good for me. I don't have a perfect life, but it's not bad. Not bad. I get to spend time doing what I love to do, and of course, it's a love-hate relationship, as most struggles are. But I continue to wake up, and I have to believe that because I do what I do, eventually something's going to come my way. Nothing else. It's just an email from you saying, "Hey, listen, I listened to what you did. I started taking action on something, and something changed. My life is better because you took the time to show up. Thanks. Appreciate that. I appreciate it. I'll look for it because I just know that there's someone that is actually ready to say, "Hey, listen, why are we doing what we're doing?" Right? I don't know. I've struggled in my life, and I used to think, well, there was no use for failure, for weakness, for those moments in your life when you just don't believe you can go anymore, right? But what I've discovered is there's power in that. There's strength in those moments. 2011, my dad died. Before that, I had no appreciation for my life. I was angry and bitter and hard to get along with. And I just, for some reason, here I was blessed with so many things, so much abundance. And yet I couldn't see any of it. I couldn't see the value of any of it. I was just in this dark place, right? And then my dad died. And it's funny because I look back and I think to myself, I never imagined that I would be able to actually sit here and actually talk about him and not well up in tears. And I think about what he did for me. And in essence, with his passing, he gave me the most important gift of my life. He brought me to the realization that you only get one chance. You only get one shot at every moment you are given. And if you don't take full advantage of it, you're not hurting the world. The universe doesn't care. You're shortchanging yourself. And if you're not being the best person you can be for yourself, then you're probably shortchanging the people you love. Because it's only by being the best for yourself that you can be the best person for them, right? And what's funny about that is when we are at the bottom, like I was, I'm sitting there and one day I just realized, I said, I got to get up. I got to get up. I've got to do something that changes the direction of my life because I don't want to look back in 20 years or 10 years or however long it is and realize that I spent the rest of my life walking around in the dark, walking around in this cloud of anger and bad feelings when life is so amazing. If you face burden in your life, if you're in a position to where you're not sure, find the strength in it. Find the blessing in that tragedy, in that struggle. I can't imagine what it would be like to have to say goodbye to someone like so many people have during this COVID thing. It's got to be horrific. Seeing someone through glass. I know I couldn't see my grandkids, and I went over to my daughter-in-law's house to work out, and everyone in the house is COVID. I mean, is quarantined, so I'm sitting in the basement or in the garage by myself. It's away from the street. Don't get to see my mom because I don't want to bring her anything. I don't want to add any undue stress. But within this struggle we face, there's the opportunity. Because when things get bad, and things change and the things we have, we no longer have, that's when we start to look at them and start to appreciate them. But in order for that to happen, we have to find the benefit in what we have going on right now. Kids are complaining about being home and they're saying, well, it's hard, it's hard. There's an opportunity in the struggle. There's an opportunity in this struggle for you to step up and say, okay, this is where we are. What can I do with it? What can I do with it? What step can I take to make it better? I was laughing at me and my son talk about the podcast and about my effort. And of course, it is what it is. But the reality is I'm laughing because this is 301 podcasts right here. Hit 301, bam, big step in 301 days. And it was amid COVID-19. It was when we couldn't do anything else. I just said, okay, I'm going to make lemonade. I have lemons. If you're hurting, if you're facing some sort of struggle in your life because of the way life is, because of what life's handed you, you have one of two choices. You can lay down and you can be beaten, or you can stand up and you can make it matter. You can take the action you need to take to make sure that while you had to endure this terrible thing in your life, you turned it into something so positive that it eased the pain. Because that's what happened to me. I think my dad would be proud of me. Like, he'd think I was crazy for selling my house and traveling around the country. And he might think I'm crazy because I spend too much time doing that computer thing. But I think he would be proud of me because I show up every day. And I'm not asking for anything. And that's what's ironic about this. I show up every day and I tell you this story with the hope that maybe whatever it is that's stopping you from becoming your best self, you can overcome. Whatever is in your way, whatever is not allowing you to decide to do something different in your life, that somehow or another, somewhere in all of these words, all of these stories, you will actually walk away and you'll say, yeah, I get this. I think I can do this. I can do this. Yeah, he's right. And I don't have time to worry about the criticism, the judgment of why I'm here or the value of what I'm sharing, because I'm not asking you for anything. No, this is for $100,000 I can change your life. $100,000. No. Is it all because of you? No, obviously not. I dig this. I know, I dig the fact that no matter where I will be, no matter where I'll be in 50 years, there's going to be a long-ass story, a whole lot of words that my kids, my grandkids, my great-grandkids can get a hold of that will tell them who I am. And more than that, it will tell them what I believe about how to succeed at life, how to handle those burdens, those struggles that we don't expect, that we don't want to see. And when they show up at our door and we don't think we can, how you dig in and you say, wait a minute, I'm not going to be beaten by this. I'm not going to let this beat me. Well, of the things that I've done, 23 and a half years in that federal prison, one of the most amazing things that I've witnessed in my life happened in prison is when you have somebody who's serving a life sentence and they struggle with it for years and they're angry and they're pissed off. But when you meet this person, they have evolved into this amazing human being. They have evolved into pure optimism. They're like, I got it good, boss. I mean, what can I do? I can't cry about it. So I wake up every day and I make the best of what I've been handed or what I've chosen, and they make the best of it. And that comes from crawling out of that pit. Can you imagine how it would feel to be sentenced to prison to 20 years, federal prison for 20 years? Can you imagine how far down, how deep in a hole you would be? And here, 5 years later, 7 years later, here I am an officer first, I am an instructor, and I'm having a conversation with this guy, and it's the most uplifting conversation I've had with anybody. And I see this scenario repeated over and over again, and I think it comes down to sometimes we have to be dropped to our knees in order for us to realize how good it feels to stand up. How good it feels to open our eyes and see the true benefit of where we are and how we can take our lives in a new direction. That's the better part of this. Your best life. It comes when the motivation for what you do is about who you are and who you're trying to become. I don't know where this is going to go. I honestly don't. But I know I'm not stopping because I've made a commitment to myself. I will be the best person I can possibly become before I die. I will know more about me and more about this and more about how to change lives than anyone I know the day I die. And how do you do that? You fall down and you say, crap. And you find strength in that event, in that thing that rips your heart out, and then you say, I'm getting back up. And not only am I going to get back up, but I'm going to get back up and I'm going to make it better. I don't know how else to say it. It's a simple recipe. Life's going to hand you things that you don't think you can handle. And guess what? You're going to handle them. And if you give up and you fall to the ground, shame on you. because the world is not going to swoop in and pick you back up. People can only hold you up so long. And eventually, that time goes away, and before you know it, all those things that you thought were bad, all those things that drove you to where you are, you can't even remember them anymore. And the only thing you're left with is the effort, the failure to go ahead and say, okay, life sucks. Okay, let's get on with it. Let's get some living done before we die. I don't know. I simplify it. I tend to ramble on about this thing, but my problem is that the clock is ticking for me. I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm really working hard at getting better at this so that I can connect with you. Not because I want anything from you, but because, can you imagine, the last thing I want to do is I don't want to be like one of those old painters where I die and 10 years later someone says, wow, can you believe what this guy did? I'd kind of like to be around for it, if you know what I mean, right? Because I'm working here, right? I'm working here. Thanks, Dad. Thanks, Dad, for giving me the most important gift of my life, for giving me the drive and the determination to say, you know what, it sucked that I had to say goodbye to you, but thank you for reminding me of how important every day is. And more than that, reminded me of my obligation to do my best at living every moment I'm given. That's the ticket to living your best life. If you're engaged in activities that drag you down, that are counterproductive to who you are trying to be, that hurt other people, stop. Because it's not taking you anywhere. And that's where it starts. You can make it better. You can live a better life. Does it suck sometimes? Yes, it sucks. Get off these. Sometimes I think, God, who am I to be doing this? And yet, guess what? I show back up because I see it. And it starts with action. It's your turn. Go ahead and take some action. Today's the day. Cool, I'm glad to hear it. Today's the day you're going to pick something in your life that you would have dreamed of doing, that you've been talking about doing, but you just haven't pulled the plug on it to go ahead and just make that happen, right? And today's the day that you're going to do it. You're going to make that call. You're going to make that appointment. You're going to set that time aside. You're going to tell someone, hey, guess what? I won't be home from right after work because I'm going to the gym. Today is the day I'm going to change something. Today is the day I'm going to take advantage of this thing called living. Life hands us lemons, make lemonade, right? So I hope this helps. I hope you're hanging in there. Like I said, I really appreciate the fact that you keep showing up. I promise that I'm going to do the same. If it seems like it's redundant, there's a part of this that's really repetitive, and it comes down to we are responsible for our own destiny. Life will hand us stuff. We will get rained on, and when we get rained on, we are at our lowest point. That's when it's most important to grab a hold of it and pick it up and say, okay, let's take this where we need to take it, right? And before you know it, you're standing on top of the world, and you're looking around going, wow, I can't believe I did it. That's the moment I'm chasing. I hope you jump in there with your own dream. I hope you'll jump in there with a kind heart and the idea and belief in yourself that, you know what, this is just temporary. I'm doing something about it. While you work on that, thanks again for showing up. And as always, just remember, today's your day. Make it a good one.